Finally, Christine NOEM is on the chopping block. And it's not because she's destroyed FEMA that she sent ICE thugs out to murder US citizens. It is because she is having an affair within Donald Trump's White House. It is no surprise that the scummiest people behave in the scummiest ways. But this is what should bring her down among so many other scandals. And we are going to get into it all. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already, and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button, because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into the reporting around Noah's affair, which is becoming increasingly public and increasingly difficult for Donald Trump to not have to deal with, I want to start with one of the best call-outs of the gaslighting and the lying that we have seen out of Noah from friend of the show Tim Miller. This clip has gone so viral, and if you haven't seen it, you need to. It's where I want to start, because Tim went off.
Not calm down the rhetoric and tone it down and be like, oh, you got to understand the other perspective. Jonathan Ross murdered her. She talked to him calmly, said, dude, I'm not mad. Other agents stormed her car. She was afraid. He walks around to the front. She turns her wheel to get away from him. You can see that clearly. He can see it clearly. She goes to get away from him. Like you hear a sound, like maybe it did bump into him. Not good, by the way. She should get there should be punishment for that. Okay, you can't not listen to cops. All right, you can't bump into a cop with your car. You can't do that. There should be a punishment for that. But the punishment shouldn't be summary execution on the street. About getting like a little bumper car nick at worst case scenario at 2 miles an hour. And like seriously. I've seen more violent attacks at the bumper cars at Carousel Gardens than that. All right, like this is fucking insane. Okay, I will not abide any efforts to be like, oh, you have to feel bad for this guy, or oh, shoot, it was a tough call in this moment.
I will not let these people lie to my face. Not gonna let it happen. I'm not going to let them bullshit me. I'm not going to let them tell me that I can't believe my lying eyes. I'm not going to allow them to dictate what is and is not evidence that should be used against a man, should be convicted of murder. That ICE agent, that thug is a murderer. I'm not going to let J.D. Vance say he was fearing for his life as Renee Good was trying to de-escalate a situation in which she was sitting in her car and he was harassing her. I'm not going to let J.D. Vance do that. I'm not going to let Kristi know him do it. I'm not going to let anyone in this administration try to tell me what's what. Because if they do now, they always will be able to decide what the evidence is, decide who they get to trust, decide what the facts are. And then where are we? We are in a deeper Donald Trump police state, and that is not where I want to live. And right now, it's not just Donald Trump who's upset with Kristen Gillibrand. So are Republican senators of all people. And it's part of the reason why her firing is looking more likely. GOP senator turns on ICE Barbie over Minneapolis shooting. Republican Senator Lisa Murkowski is picking a fight with her own party. And this time, it's over an ICE shooting that Republicans have already made up their mind about. The Alaska senator has widened her existing rift with the GOP by publicly criticizing how the Trump administration is handling the federal investigation into the fatal shooting of a Minneapolis woman, Renee Good, by an immigration and customs enforcement officer. She told The Hill that the decision to sideline state authorities is confusing and unnecessary at a moment of heightened national tension. Murkowski took to Twitter on Thursday to urge a thorough and objective investigation to how and why this happened, arguing that such an outcome would require full cooperation from the Department of Justice and Homeland Security, along with the local authorities. Her comments directly challenge Homeland Security Kristen NOEM, whose department has asserted control over the probe. A Wednesday shooting, which killed 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good, a mother of 3, has ignited political outrage nationwide. When even Republican senators are saying, okay, we don't trust Kristi NOEM because who would? Let's be real, because who would trust Kristi NOEM with anything? Apparently, you can't trust Kristi NOEM to not be engaging in certain activities, sleeping with members of the Trump administration. Let's not beat around the bush here. That is what Kristi Noem is doing. What does Kristi Noem do? Like, literally, she changes her outfits, she shoots commercials that enrich herself, her family, and her staff. She tweets a lot, she's on Fox, she gets a lot of filler, but she doesn't actually do anything. And it's one of the reasons why she may be facing the unemployment line soon. Donald Trump, considering firing ally Christine Noem over her alleged affair. Christine Noem's job may be up in the air. Donald Trump is allegedly considering firing his Homeland Security Secretary over the employment of her alleged paramour, Corey Lewandowski, as her chief advisor. According to a report from Saturday, December 6th, 3 unnamed former DHS officials revealed that the White House advisors are frustrated by the situation and think Noah should be let go. Things are F1, former officials said of the pair's secret romance. It's horrible. They're going to destroy this place. I'm just hoping the new secretary gets here in time, the officials noted. Trump, 79, may bid farewell in the new year as the married secretary's rumored affair with her chief advisor has been called DC's worst-kept secret. And Dowski, 52, who served as Trump's campaign manager during the 2020 or 2016 presidential campaign, is also married. The rumor that Noam may be shown the door soon has been circulating for weeks and was even noted in a CNN report released on November 21st about a potential cabinet shakeup in 2026. Noah, who's receiving the moniker Ice Barbie as she's in charge of executing Trump's mass deportation plan, has claimed the rumors of her possible firing are incorrect. Moreover, an outlet reported that the White House spokeswoman, Abigail Jackson, wrote on Twitter on Sunday, December 7th, anonymous former staffers pretend to know what President Trump is thinking, and the Bulwark treats them as credible. This report and the Bulwark is total fake news. Secretary Noah is doing a great job implementing the president's agenda and making America safe again, she wrote in her since-deleted post. So calling reporting fake and then having to delete it doesn't really bode well for your argument that the reporting is fake. What it looks like to me is that you're just in a state of crisis. And of course they would. But it is important to remember that Corey Lewandowski, who was obviously one of the bigger Trump allies through his entire political career, asked for one thing when Donald Trump was elected president in 2024, and that was for Christine Noem to be in a DHS. That is what he wanted. Not something for himself, right? Not an ambassadorship. Not to be cut a check, because they do that. They do cut checks. He wanted Christine Noem in at DHS, which I guess is better than being cut a check, because she seemed to profit pretty nicely over there. That's what he wanted. He wanted Christine Noem to have her political future set up by Donald Trump. Christine Noem thinks she's going to run for president. I know, right? Christ, Christine Noem thinks she is going to run for president. She sees herself as the future of the GOP, the face of the GOP. It's one fucking ugly face, by the way. And I know I'm going to get some comments. Jack, maybe we lay off the physical appearance stuff. Maybe we tone down the language. No, it's Christine Noem. She's a murderer. I'm not going to tone anything down when I'm talking about Christine Noem. She's a member of her community. That is what ICE is trying to strip away community. And the only way to fight back against that, besides pointing out how bad the Botox jobs that Christine Noem keeps getting are, is to build it. To build that community. And no one has done that better than Zaram Bandani, who is not letting ICE into New York City, who is fighting back against Trump. And it actually has him pretty sad. Funny enough. And I want to hear what he said just recently.
Statement on the shooting yesterday. And she said, and you basically said that as ICE attacks neighborhoods across the country, New York stands with immigrants. That was a big thrust of your statement. She accused you of putting, quote, illegal people who have broken our law before New York City citizens. What is your response to that from Kristi Noem?
It's hard to truly make sense of that statement. All I can tell you is that here in New York City, we know that it's possible to be a New Yorker, to be an American, and also to be an immigrant. I'm one of the examples of all three of those things in one. And yet what we have seen time and again is an attempt to have cities and states give up immigrants to a federal administration's attempt to fulfill its pledge to create the single largest deportation force in American history. And as the mayor of New York City, I'm going to stand up for everyone who calls the city their home, and I'm going to do so while following the laws we have in this city, laws which include sanctuary city policies that prohibit ICE agents from entering into New York City schools or properties unless they can actually provide a judicial warrant signed by a judge.
One of the reasons I was really looking forward to talking to you today, I mean, you never hold back, and I always appreciate that, is that in this moment of so much chaos and darkness in Washington, your announcement today was really a reminder that government can do good for the people, that if you have the will, if you have optimism about what is possible, that things can happen, people's lives can be made better. And this announcement today from you and Governor Hochul, I should just note, puts New York City on track to become the first city in the country to provide free universal child care, which is incredibly significant. Again, you're on day 8. How did you make this happen?
You know, I think this comes from many, many conversations that I've had with the governor and that our teams have had, all about fulfilling the commitment we have made of transforming the most expensive city in the United States into one that's affordable. But frankly, this day is a result not just of Governor Hochul and myself, but frankly a result of New Yorkers who knocked on more than 1 million doors, who made more than 1 million phone calls, all in the hopes of winning the city that they deserved. And today's announcement, where the governor committed $1.21 billion to taking the first steps to establishing universal child care here in New York City.
That is the leadership that we need from Mayor. And I know y'all know I love to say that, so I'm going to say it one more time. Mayor. Zara Mandani. Mayor sounds good, doesn't it? Damn. I love that shit. I'm just going to let it soak in. You can click off the video if you need to. This is just a moment for me, Mayor Mamdani, who we will continue to uplift on this show. Not that he needs us, but he's going to get our support. And if you want to support that, he does need us. Zaran loves us all. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around at the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. You can also follow the show on Instagram at JD Cottarella over there. I truly love you all. Keep on fighting. Don't let him silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.